and you could be interpreted differently, but it's like the tourism industry. Not that it's screwed up, but it has to take the money when it can in the seasons, and it's not always there. And what you've just described is actually seasons of in lockdown, out of lockdown.
Absolutely.
I'll be tourist company. I'm going to call myself TUI.
No, I was just cheering. Maura got some red wine up just now. It's a bit early for Sarah to be drinking wine.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, people, it's 12 in the morning.
But I was laughing at before as well.
I've just got a little when I see all of you kind of go like this and then come back, it's because you're taking a sip of something beneath the screen, right?
I've had a long day. Excuse me. I've been shooting all day, so I'm quite exhausted. So
go for it. It's all good.
To be honest, Sarah, we're normally like this anyway.
Yeah.
We're all like this normally because Judith has her phone at an angle, and we all have to sit like this so that we're all square for her. So yeah, we're a bit of a weird group, I must admit. We're a bit of a weird group.
Speak for yourself, Alan.
No, I'm speaking for you all. Okay, Sarah, well, look, it's very, very kind of you to come on and explain everything. I think I've hopefully explained a little bit about what you do, but please, over to you, my darling. The floor is yours.
Cool. Well, I'll give you a very, very, very sped up version of how I got to where I am. I had my own photography studio here in Auckland, actually, in New Zealand, for 10 years, and I specialised in photographing women. And in that time, I probably would have photographed over 10,000 women and sold to them. And I guess that taught me so much in terms of the purchasing decisions that we as women make. And as photographers, I maintain that we're always marketing and selling to women, right? Whether you all get that. And so, and when I sold my own studio, I accidentally started, I thought, right, I was 43, I think then. No. I thought, okay, I kind of felt like I'd accidentally fallen into owning my own studio. It was never my intention to own a studio that photographed women. It was never my dream. I just kind of ended up there one day. And so when I sold it, whilst I loved it and I learned so much from it, I thought, okay, Sarah, here's your big chance to make a move in your career that really is something you've chosen for yourself. And so I searched high and low in terms of what is it that you want to do. And after 3 years of looking high and low, and nothing really gives you the kind of, nothing's quite like photography. Nothing gives you that same sense of when you sit down with someone and you show them their photos and they look at you and go, these are amazing. Nothing feels like that. Well, mentoring for me feels like that now, but up until nothing else that I could find made me feel like that. And I understood the real power of what we as photographers bring. And then a friend of mine who is a photographer said, Sarah, I'm struggling. Can you help me? I saw what you did with your studio. And I need help. So I jumped in and said, sure. And she got amazing results. And then word spread. And from there on, I realized that I really loved mentoring and I'm really good at it. And so I've been doing that for the last 3 years. And over that time, I guess I focus, well, I don't think anything's separate. And you guys will totally get this. It's not, nothing is separate within photography. It's all of you and it's all of the process. You can't just focus on one piece because that piece is, it's all interlinked, right? So you can't just focus on sales because that you need marketing to get the shoots to do the sales. You can't just focus, it's all interwoven. But I guess my main strengths are in sales and marketing. And so that's the area that I like, that I really enjoy. And that process of getting a lead in, converting that lead into a booking, working your magic in the shoot, and then doing the sale, that's the process that I love. And I'm not sure how aware of this Alan is, but I approach marketing from a very holistic point of view. So I don't, it's not just, this is your answer, do this. But quite by necessity and by accident, I've become a bit of a Facebook ads guru. And it's not something I'm particularly proud of. But what I have done.
You see the resemblance?
Hello. What I have done is I realized for my own business, for promoting my own business, I needed to get very good at Facebook ads because I live in New Zealand and most of my clients are in the UK or the US. So I needed a way to put myself out there. And I realized that a lot of the clients I was working with were also using Facebook ads, but very badly. And so I invested more money than my husband knows in working with the best people I could find in Facebook ads. And I took what I learned and applied to myself and kind of adapted to that to my photography clients. And so now, like I said, I tend to focus a lot on Facebook ads simply because I've become so good at them and because they deliver such great results so quickly for such a cheap amount of money that that's kind of where I begin with my clients. Well, in all honesty, I begin with alignment because nothing's going to work for you unless you're fully aligned with what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that you understand the real power behind it and that you are inspired by what you're doing. Because when you start from that space, everything's going to flow for you. And then from there, I look at structure in terms of what it is you want to achieve in your business and then how we're going to do that. And I believe in keeping things so simple it hurts. I really do. I think for all photographers, there's so much information available to you all. And some of it's really good. Some of it's really average, and some of it's real rubbish, right? And unfortunately, from your perspective, the only way of really knowing what's what is by buying it and doing it. And so there's so much noise competing for your attention as a photographer. And what I do with my clients is I just cut out all the noise. I simplify everything so that my clients can just focus on what's important and what's going to make a difference in their business. And so as a part of that, I have developed a number of campaigns that I utilize with my clients that use Facebook ads, but by far the most successful and honestly, it's quite humbling how well this is doing around the world right now, is what I call my connection campaign. And it's kind of interesting because if I reflect on it, I've been developing this and testing this for the last 18 months, but it wasn't until COVID hit that this really kind of came into its own, because obviously it focuses on connection, focuses on the things that really matter to us all. And so that's a very quick kind of background in terms of what I do and how I do it. It might be what I am doing is I'm running a 3-day course, which starts, I'm letting people into it today and we begin tomorrow. But during those 3 days, I'm going to be doing a live Zoom, Facebook each day, which you can watch in your own time if you can't attend the live. But I actually break down the whole process in terms of, I take you through a process of working through the alignment exercise that I take all of my clients through on day 1. On day 2, I give you what I call my Rockstar dashboard, which is the document that I use to simplify everything to just the key things that matter, the key things that are going to move the needle for you. And then on day 3, I teach you the connection campaign. And so you're all more than welcome. The group, I like to keep the groups quite small because I give you I work with you individually in there, right? When I ask you to do things, and when you post your answers, I give you feedback. And so I'm kind of like what you guys were talking about right at the start of this call. I'm all about working with people that are committed and dynamic. And in that space, I'll give you everything I've got. That's where I like to be. And so I work very much in that. If you're in, you're in. Let's do this. Let's get some results. Let's create something together. So I like to work in smaller groups where I can give you that individual attention. And so you're all welcome to. I will. Alan, do you have the link to that already or not? Shall I?
I probably do, Sarah. But if you send it to me, then I'll post it for people that are here tonight, that they can obviously join you, hopefully. But for other people that couldn't join us tonight, but we've recorded this, so obviously they can watch it. And so,
yeah, they're welcome to jump on the link too. I'm opening up the group in a few hours' time, so whoever would like to join can, but they'll need to join in the next 12 hours.
Are you going to do it again, Sarah? Because with 2 grandkids here, there's no way I'm going to be able to do anything this week. I've taken the week off, so.
Okay, no, absolutely. Yes, I probably go. I've run it twice already, and I've had such an amazing response from the photographers that have done it.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't even going to run this next one, but there were a handful that missed out on it. Please do it again. So yes, I will, but probably in a month's time or so, I will run another one.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question? You were talking about Facebook ads.
Yes.
Is that Facebook ads in general, or are they lead generation ads?
These specific, the way I use Facebook ads is probably quite different. Well, definitely different to anything else that I've seen out there. I'm an instant gratification kind of a gal, and frankly, so are my clients, right? When someone works with me, they're not like, hey, let's just try something for 4 months and see how it goes, Sarah. They're like, I want bookings now, and I want to pay as little as possible for them, and I want to get really good results. And so the ads that I use are not to, they're to get you leads. They're to get you really good, pre-qualified, highly engaged, great leads.
Because when I was doing Facebook ads, like conversion and that to the website, the results weren't very good. But then I started on with the lead generation, and absolutely brilliant the amount of registrations I get. But it is costly. It costs me maybe £500-600 a month.
Yeah, see, that's a lot. For my clients, they're spending, honestly, now somewhere between $50 and $100, and that's dollars, not pounds, a month, and that's getting them $20,000 to $30,000 months in sales. And so that's what I mean by I've really refined, because I know, and that's why I say I'm kind of not proud of the fact that by accident I've become a Facebook ads guru, because on the whole, people's experience of Facebook ads is terrible. Either they don't work at all, or if they do, they cost them a small fortune and they don't really deliver particularly good leads. You have to, do you know what I mean? You've got to sift through a lot of riffraff and do a whole lot of stuff that you don't necessarily want to do because the leads aren't that qualified, or they're just spending way too much money on Facebook ads. So that's why this process that I'll be sharing with you starting tomorrow. And Peter, look, I totally get, and I think your grandchildren should always take priority, but you're welcome to join in. You can watch the days. These are not big days. Like I keep, the first day is maybe 30 minutes of me talking and a small exercise for you to do. Day 2 is only 16 minutes, and then day 3 is a little bit longer. You can watch replays, and there is a small penalty for if you don't at least watch the videos. I do have software running in the background that takes people out of the group, simply because I just want to put my focus on the people that are doing the work. Hey, join in.
The thing is, Peter, if we all join it together and all do it together, if we get stuck, we can just ring each other.
No, I totally get it. And it's not the kids I'm worried about. It's my wife. That's for the grandkids.
Which
You're leaving me a...
Which one?
Are we talking?
Which of the 6 ex-wives are we talking about?
Just the one.
You got a patio. You got a patio, Peter, and a shovel.
47 years married.
That's
To one, and then you've had 5 other ones that nobody.
No.
Sarah, you say that you specialise in photographing women. Is this more angled at people that do sort of women and boudoir and so on, which I do, as well as families, but that's my big push at the moment? Or is it very general, your training?
It's very general. I've worked with clients that photograph women, glamour, boudoir, even branding. Families, newborns, pet photography. I've even had one of my clients that is based in France. She took the Connection campaign and translated it into French, all of it, and ran it in France, and it worked incredibly well in France in French. So it really is, it's universal, because, and a lot of people ask the questions that I get, will this work in my country? Well, I believe as humans, we all seek connection. We all, especially now. And so yes, it's working everywhere. And like I say, it's been really humbling for me to see how this is. I'd love to take the credit for it, but I think, as with all really quite amazing things, it's just what comes through you, not necessarily what you create yourself, right?
Yeah, no, completely. And I've been following you a bit in the last sort of week or so since you and I first made connection, and some of the numbers and the stats that you've been putting up have been very impressive. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, it would be the best thing for most people just to join your group. I don't know what comes afterwards, but I think just to start off and do that is a really good lesson to start off with, to be perfectly honest.
We did a campaign during lockdown, Sarah.
Yeah,
where we all did the same thing. And Judith very kindly created the advert, and it worked very well for Judith. It worked pretty well for Alan. It worked, well, I won't say it didn't work for me. And we couldn't figure out what it was. So we took exactly the same method of doing it. In fact, Judith helped me build it. So I'm quite skeptical at the moment about how Facebook works, because we've taken something that works in two different areas that doesn't work here for some reason.
Except that I ran it and it worked for me. Not as I didn't get anywhere near Judith's numbers, but Peter, you and I are very close in you know, geographically. Yeah. So
it is weird.
That's why honestly, Facebook sucks. It really is a pain in the ass like that, because there's so many variables that come into play here. And it's I've learned this the hard way, because I've developed campaigns that work incredibly well. For example, I took on 5 new clients, and this was not with the Connection campaign, this was with one of my other campaigns, but I took on 5 new clients because this was with my $99 deal campaign, right? Which I used to run quite a lot. I don't tend to right now because the Connection campaign just outperforms it so incredibly. But 5 new clients, right? All photographed women, all in different locations, but all of the same quality of work, all identical, right? And they all used exactly the same ad structure, exactly the same ad copy, exactly the same everything. And we ran the ads. Now, 4 of the women were just like, oh, you're so amazing, Sarah. I can't believe how well this is working. I've got so many bookings. I love you. And one of my poor clients was like, I got nothing.
See, that's Ian in our case. Ian got nothing, did you, Ian?
And so she's like, what? I got nothing. What's wrong with me? I'm like, okay, I need you to work with me on this, Alexa. There's nothing wrong with you. We just need to keep going, right? And honestly, that poor woman, I threw everything I had. I'm like, we will get there. You just need to keep the faith. And I threw everything in the book I could at trying to get these damn ads to work for her. And at the end of the day, and this is why this is a really important point that you bring up, at the end of the day, I sat down with her and I said, Alexa, is this what you really want to do? Is this what you really want to photograph? And she's like, well, you know what, Sarah, not really. I was just kind of doing it for the money. But what I would love to do is I'd like to shoot newborns. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I got an ad for that. Let's give that a shot. So we tried the newborn ad. Boom. She did better than everyone. And that's why I think this whole alignment piece to begin with is so important. And it can be so subtle, Peter. It can be not that, I mean, I'm guessing, and let me use this as just an example, as an analogy, right? Let's say that the ad that you ran was for families, right? I don't even know what the ad was for, and I'm happy, let's dive into that a little bit more. But let's say it was for families and you ran it, but you just kind of did. I can pretty much guarantee that if we were to do a little bit of work and dig a little bit deeper to where something really kind of clicked with you and sparked with you, your ads would work really well. I just think it's that piece where I've seen this so many times now that I can have a kick-ass Facebook ad campaign that will work for 99 out of 100 people, and then for one person it won't. And I always, at that point, now I notice it with them, go, hey, what is it you really want to do here?
Well, Peter just wants to photograph women.
Okay, well, there's a theme here, Peter. I'm picking up on the theme, my friend. Yeah.
A good job. We haven't got the guy with the Pakistani women and the what was Sharon? Gambia?
Oh yeah, we won't go down that route. That's 2 other members. In lockdown, it got, well, yeah, nearly quite private. But yeah, and you are completely right, Sarah, in the fact that just because it works for 5 and not for 1, it doesn't mean to say that it's bad. It just means to say that it might not be quite right for that one particular person.
Tell me, what was the campaign? What were you doing?
Right, we were raising money for the NHS. basically, because of during COVID, all of our health authorities were in a lot of trouble. Ours is in more financial trouble than most, although probably every country is the same. So we ran a campaign as a group of photographers covering the country to raise money for the NHS. And basically the clients were getting for a $10 for you, £5 for us. We as photographers would match that and give that money to the NHS, and they would get a portrait session and a 8x6.
Yeah.
And that was the offer. And it was basically your connections was trying to sort of get the public to understand that we were offering them the chance to have photographs of their loved ones, i.e. you mentioned that at the very, very beginning. So we went all through that. But it was going to go directly to the NHS, not to us. In fact, we were matching it. And it worked very, very well. We raised...
Just
under 3,000,
wasn't it?
3,000.
Just under $6,000 to you.
Cool.
And we had 12 people doing it in the end.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, about that.
That's fantastic. And so, Judith, when you say yours worked really well, how many bookings did you get?
No, here we go.
Sorry, this is a bad question to ask.
I got 87 registrations. No, I didn't.
Yep.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I got over 200 registrations, but I took 87 bookings.
That's amazing.
87 donations. I've had 19 booked in. 4 of them were no shows. The rest have all been in, and they've all spent around about the £135 mark. So I'm happy. And
Sarah, if you don't understand anything that Judith says, just ask us and we'll translate it for you.
I think I got the gist, but thank you.
I think my advert in total cost me somewhere in the region of about £300 by the end of it.
Cool.
But I've more than covered it, and I'm still booking in. And fingers crossed they're all still going to spend. There's going to be the odd one that doesn't, but so far I haven't had that yet.
I've had 3 no spends for my lot. I mean, I've had a lot less than you, but I've had 3 who haven't spent, which has been a pain because I did a framed image rather than the print. But that's the way my studio's always worked because I don't sell loose prints. But the sales have been not that far off my normal sales. So they've been a bit higher, I guess. But then the odd person, I was just too expensive for. So I had 3 no sales. But
what's your normal average sale, Morag?
Well, I don't know. It's this hard one actually. With portraits, if I don't know them at all, it's somewhere around the 450 mark. It's my sales with this promotion has been about 300, I'd say, as an average. But I've had the odd, 800-900 sales, so they've been okay. I'm all my energy's in boudoir at the moment because my sales average is quite a bit higher, so that's what I'm working on.
Yes, right. I know. I'm seeing that across the board right now. You know what I think it is too. I think that as women in lockdown, we're kind of stuck at home. We're homeschooling the kids most of the time. Our husbands are going through really stressful times with their jobs and maybe losing their jobs. So we're trying to support everyone. And so I think when ads pop up around a boudoir shoot, and particularly with my connection campaign ads for boudoir shoots, all women are like, damn it, I'm going to do something for me.
I've just done an ad and it went really well. I've booked in 17 boudoir shoots through September so far, and I think that was, how many registrations did I get? I'm trying to think. About 50. No, I ran it twice, so about 100 in total, but I've still got some booking from that. So yeah, that's been really successful actually. But the proof will be in the pudding once I start shooting them.
Cool. How much did your ads for that cost to get 19?
I think I paid 114 in total, so not too much. They got traction very quickly, then stopped working very quickly, so I just withdrew them and then ran them again, and then they seemed to pick up again. So I'm learning. I'm really new to Facebook ads, so Judith's been a lot of, well, everyone in the group, but Judith particularly has been a big support trying to get my head around Facebook ads. But I've been getting a little bit of mentoring as well around this, so yeah, it's been good. Learning curve. I'm quite enjoying it.
It is a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's one that we all need, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you can transfer, as Sarah said. I think you can transfer once you understand the fundamentals. you can transfer it to various different types of promotions.
Yeah.
And just, you know, trigger them in and trigger them out. But it's understanding what works in your area. I think that's the hard one. And sometimes, and that's why it's going to be great to listen to Sarah, because we can all help, but only on our own experience.
Yeah.
And you sort of need somebody with more worldly experience. And it
Hi, Alan.
Family. Hello.
I think why I'm very interested is I think so far the ads that I've run have been very much about some big offer or some big, you know, sort of big new thing. I'd like to run them and not do such a big offer. So that's where I would love to learn.
That's a good point of difference, right? And that is where these are different to anything else. Because, like you say, I have a number of campaigns that are about an offer or a special or a giveaway, and that's okay, that's fine. But you don't want to be doing that all the time. Otherwise, it's not a special if you do it all the time, right? Yeah. And so the way I've created the connection campaign is it's based around a movement, not a special. Or a project or a campaign. And so that's where the alignment piece comes in, because I want you to get really clear and focused and inspired by what you do and come back to that place of, why did I become a photographer in the first place? What is it that what kind of people do I love shooting? What are the shoots that I love doing? So to give you an example for this, a number of my clients photograph women, and through the process that I take them through, they kind of come down to what they're going to call their movement, right? For example, and say, maybe I'm a boudoir photographer and I want to call my movement Love the Skin You're In, a movement about inviting women to celebrate who they are right now and love the skin they're in, or whatever. Or maybe I'm a family photographer, and maybe it's all the little moments that matter. That's what I love. I love capturing the little moments of connection. And so I'm going to call my connection campaign or my movement the moments that matter. Or maybe I'm a newborn photographer and I'm going to call my movement Little Love Stories. And I'm going to create, do you see what I mean? So you create something that resonates deeply with you, whatever that is. So I've got boudoir photographers that are calling theirs Be Fierce. I've got a boudoir photographer that's calling hers, I don't know, something nasty like Bombshell Magic or something. It doesn't matter whether I like it or not, right? That's completely irrelevant. What for her, that's like, yeah, that's me, that's my brand. And so she put that out there, and then it speaks to all the women. They're like, damn, I'm a bombshell, I'm going to go do this, right? And so this is where it begins with that alignment for you, whatever that is. I've had a pet photographer run one called Fur Babies, and another pet photographer run one called Pets with Personality. And it's cool, right? And so the great thing about this is that you get excited about it, because it's kind of realigned you with why you do this in the first place. And then you put this ad out there, and then your audience goes, this is me. This is more than just me, about me and photographs. This is something bigger than that. This is important to me as well, and I want to be a part of it. So that's where this is different, as opposed to, hey, who wants a $99 makeover and photo shoot, and I'm going to give you one free photo. That's not to say that there's not necessarily a place for that, and that I don't sometimes run those ads, but they're getting way more scarce. And the beautiful thing about the connection campaign is it's the only campaign I know of that the more you run it, the better it gets. So whereas if you ran the $99 deal every month, people are like, yeah, well, she kind of did that last month and the month before, and this is not a special. This is how she runs her business. Yeah. Whereas with the connection campaign, you announce that you're creating this movement, and then each time you run the ads, the more people see them, they're like, oh, I've heard about this movement. This is awesome. I want to be a part of this. My girlfriend did this. She said it was amazing. Now's my opportunity. So the more you run it, and then what happens is the more people see it, the more they just ring you up and go, listen, tell me about your bombshell movement.
Yeah.
How do I be a part of that? Or whatever the hell your movement is, right? And so you start getting bookings from people that have heard about it, because there's such an energy behind it. That's where this,
Yeah.
And because it's not just about buying photos, okay, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek of how this whole thing works, right? So the pieces of this puzzle go like this. You run the ad, they click on the ad, you have an automated response that says, hey, would you mind if I ask you a few questions to make sure if we're a good fit? To which they can only click the button that says, of course. So if they don't want to, they don't click the button. And then that gives them a link to a questionnaire. Now, there's nothing revolutionary about any of that. This is a process that is available in a number of different ways, but it's what's in the questionnaire that creates the connection. And that's probably my area of expertise, is connection, is really speaking deeply to people in a way that sparks something in them. And so these questions are crafted and honed and loved by me to elicit that degree of connection, so that they can, and they're also pre-qualifying your client, and they're selling the photos to them. And honestly, I've read some of these that are available out there that are so not what I'm talking about. Like, if you were to win, would you want wall prints or would you want an album?
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not the connection I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
But it does pre-qualify them, and what the questions that do pre-qualify them are what's giving my clients an even higher average sale. Yeah, and so you get these questionnaires through full of these, and then you ring them up and you book them in, and it becomes so much more than just buying photos. Let me tell you about the little love stories idea, because that's a cool example of this. So in the question, are any of you newborn photographers by any chance?
I do. A lot of us do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Peter
part of the
doesn't, because he
question,
only deals at the other end of the market.
okay. Okay, cool. So let me, as an example with kind of questions in the questionnaire for newborn, right? And I always cry when I talk about this. I'm sorry about that. You'll come to know that about me, right? I am the crying mentor because I feel things deeply and I feel into the energy of things, and that's how I know that they work, right? All of my clients know that when I'm crying, it's good, it's going to work. So with little love stories, there's questions in the questionnaire, things like, if there was one piece of wisdom that you would like to share with your little one that they would carry with them through their lives and pass on to their own children, what would it be? And then things like, what would you like your little one to know about you, their beautiful mama? And so there's these questions that you can imagine, right? Pregnant women around the world reading this and crying and writing out, I want my baby to know this. And, you know, this has been such a journey to bring you into the world, but I'm so excited that you're finally coming, all of that stuff, right? And so then what happens is, you know, they've written those answers, they've answered the qualifying questions. You ring them and say, hey, I've chosen you to be a part of this because you're perfect. And they're like, oh, I'm so excited, Ellen. I can't wait for this. This is amazing. I cried when I wrote my answers. And you'll be like, I cried when I read your answers. And then so you book them in, you do the shoot. And then what a number of my clients have done with this in terms of, you can just sit down with them afterwards and sell them photos. That works really well. But what a number of my clients have begun to do, which has always been my intention with this, is instead of just creating an album, actually putting the images from their shoot with some of the answers from the questions, so their own story in their own words, into the album, and sitting down and, for example, with the newborn and maternity one, creating one album that's called A Love Letter to My Unborn Child, with images of pregnant mama and all the hopes and dreams and wishes for the child, and then creating an album like that, and then boom, you've got the newborn shoots now, right? Because now you do exactly the same thing for the newborn shoot. And you see where this can go with boudoir and women and family legacy campaigns and all of those things. It takes it out of that whole realm of I'm a photographer selling photos through to I'm a storyteller. I'm a memory maker. I'm here to you know, it takes it out of that whole, okay, so you've narrowed it down to 10 images, that my 10 image package is this much, or my 5 image package is this much. It takes it out of that conversation to showing them something that they're like, oh my gosh, there's no question. This is my story and my words and my experience, and these images are amazing. Then the only question becomes, how am I going to pay for that? Right?
Brilliant. Are you all happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, are you trying to work out now how you can get divorce pictures into a story?
Well, I might be having one at the moment.
I've never thought about that market. In all seriousness, though.
Yeah.
Well,
In all
boudoir.
seriousness, you could create something for women that, because I mean, a lot of people's relationships are up for, especially now, especially after lockdown, when we've all been locked in the same house. I'm like, dude, I don't think I like you anymore, you know. And so women in general are going through huge transformation in their lives right now. You could create anything speaking to that and invite women into that space about redefining who they are. Boom, there you go, Morag.
No, boudoir, I mean, it's huge. I mean, I've shot boudoir, a lot of boudoir shoots, people celebrating their divorces, and, you know, it's about finding yourself again, finding a sexuality and moving forward, and that comes up an awful lot in boudoir, I find.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was wondering if Peter was part of the Harry Potter set, because every time he moves, he goes invisible.
I know, his head comes off.
He was headless at one time.
I think
he turns his whole body around and lost his head, and I'm like,
it's because my study is a mess.
As you've guessed, Sarah, Peter is our Joker.
I think you may have more than just one in your group, in all honesty, Alan.
Well, yeah, you probably are right, to be honest.
You can tell because his dog's head's bigger than his.
That's a big dog.
I'll let you into a secret, though. My study's an absolute mess too, so I'm in my studio because it looks tidier.
I think to play more for the right reasons.
Leslie's still acting as if he's one of those telecommunication people. That's
Yeah, I'm doing my part-time job at the same time.
Yeah.
Les is also sitting in a safe.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's the safest place for him. But they keep leaving the door open. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, look at that. They lock him in there.
Oh yeah, no. Les's studio is in an old bank.
Really?
Yeah. And I've got I've got an underground bank vault, which is like 16 foot by 12 foot, complete with 6-inch doors and internal bars to lock it.
So I thought we were just looking at your dominatrix studio.
Oh God, there's a connection campaign waiting to happen right there.
I knew this was going to go down this route somewhere along the line. It just had to.
Good job I'm not in my studio with a dance pole in it.
Yeah, I'm not going down that one. We're going to bypass that one. It's not fair.
No,
know about that.
I do have to run in about 5 minutes. So does anyone have any questions for me while I'm here? You kind of have me captive right now, and not many people get that. So can I help with anything right now?
Just super quick. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, give you go. So your mini course you're going to be doing is like about 15 minutes a day on average to start with?
The first day is about 30 minutes. The next day's a shorter day. It's about 15 minutes. And then the last day is where I run through the actual connection campaign with you. That's probably about 40 minutes.
Are you doing them at the same time? Are you doing it at the same time every day? And it won't be 6 o'clock in the morning at your end?
Time, actually. Yeah, this time every day, starting tomorrow. So, but if you can't watch them live, then as long as you watch the replay and as long as you do your homework, which is not much, but then you'll be safe. You'll stay in the group.
Oh, great.
Sorry if I've come a bit late. Is there a charge involved, or is this a taster for other things you do?
It's a summary of what's working really well for my clients. And so there's no charge involved at all to be part of the 3-day group. It's absolutely free.
I think something you said really hit on me, and it's about the little love stories or family stuff, you know, and it's I can just see a Christmas campaign in my mind for children and families, and I think I would love to be part of it, so thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I've already sent you a friend request.
Perfect. What I'll do is I will
No, she's not going to accept you, Judith. That's the end of that.
Well, at least I haven't been stalking her when I've been following her. You've been following her. That's just not right.
So what I'm going to do is, Alan, I'm going to give you the link. You're all welcome to friend me, but I'm also it's probably the easiest, quickest way for me to give Alan the link. And Alan, if you want to distribute that amongst your everyone,
I will.
If you guys jump on that as soon as possible, I will let people in throughout the day today. But if you're not in today, then it will have to be whenever I run it next time, which will probably be in about a month's time.
Yeah, that's no problem, Sarah. Well, look, on behalf of everybody, I want to thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I'm sure we will get together at some time, even if it's when I come down to Auckland to see our daughter. I'm sure we will get there. But as I say, I will probably, well, they made the film The Hobbits Are Over Me, according to everybody else. It's not true. It's not true. But Sarah, thank you so much, my darling. I know you got to go to see other people and so on. So send me the link, and I'm sure most of us will sign up definitely for the 3-day course and hopefully go on with you further.
Can I ask one question before you disappear?
Oh,
Sarah, what time, how many hours from now does it start?
24.
24
well,
hours.
23 now.
So this time tomorrow night?
Yes, the
Cool.
time that we started our call.
Yeah.
The night for you is when the
Yeah,
first.
no, that's fine.
Live.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, then. I'll put the link up for you all on the site so that you can all sign up, and then we can all meet again tomorrow night. Actually, we're meeting tomorrow morning for a start, but we can all meet tomorrow night. So there you go.
Perfect. Perfect, guys. Hey, thank you all so much. I'll see you in court.
Thank you.
Bye, darling.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you soon.